A single bullet hole pierced the rusted "No Trespassing" sign that stood defiantly at the border of Alana Walker's farm, a quiet warning she had chosen to ignore. For 3 relentless months, the threats had escalated. Veiled warnings from the local sheriff, unmarked black SUVs prowling near her property, and even ominous visits from Child Protective Services, suggesting her son, Isaiah, might be taken away. But Alana remained unmoved. The farm had been in her family for generations, and before her father passed, she had promised him one thing: never give up their land. But when masked men set fire to her barn one night, their intimidation tactics finally crossed a line that made her realize the depth of what she was up against. Through the haze of smoke and the crackle of flames, she watched in disbelief as a figure moved with stealth and precision against the glow of the blaze, taking down the attackers one by one. When the smoke cleared, standing there with eyes harder than she remembered, was her brother, Jeremiah. Man the world believed had died in combat 3 years earlier. "They chose the wrong family," he said flatly, lifting Isaiah into his arms and carrying him away from danger. What had begun as a ruthless attempt to force Alana off her family's land was about to explode into a scandal that would shake their community and expose a tangle of buried government secrets and corporate corruption. The morning sun spilled across the fields of the Walker farm, casting a gentle light on the rows of vegetables, their green leaves sparkling with dew. Chickens clucked contentedly, pecking at the ground, while Isaiah ran through the tall stalks of corn, his laughter rising like music into the air. It was a peaceful scene, but one isolated from the world beyond their fences. Alana wiped the sweat from her brow as she tightened the final bolt on the tractor her father had always patched together with care. The machine had broken down again, and replacing it wasn't in the budget. "Mama, look!" Isaiah's voice rang out as he rushed toward her, his hands cupped around something small and delicate. "I found a praying mantis." Alana smiled, kneeling to inspect his discovery. "That's a good sign, sweetheart. They eat the bugs that might hurt our crops." Being both mother and teacher to Isaiah since pulling him out of school the previous year had been challenging, but moments like this reminded her it was the right choice. "Add it to your science journal," she encouraged, watching as he carefully placed the insect in a jar with air holes. She had barely returned to her work when the rumble of tires on gravel drew her attention to the driveway. An old pickup truck approached, kicking up a trail of dust. Alana relaxed when she recognized the driver, Hank Dobson, the 70-year-old mechanic who had known her family for decades. "Brought you a little something," Hank called as he climbed down, holding up a bag of salvaged tractor parts. "Your daddy would have helped me out the same way if the roles were reversed." Alana thanked him, accepting the bag and offering payment that Hank refused with a wave of his hand. His expression turned serious as he leaned on the tractor. "Any more trouble lately?" Alana's smile faded. "Nothing since last month." Hank nodded, but his eyes stayed watchful. "Saw a black SUV down near the old Johnson place yesterday. Out-of-state plates or no plates at all. Just be careful, Alana. Folks around here don't always play fair when they want something." She knew exactly what he meant. After Hank left, Alana tried to focus on Isaiah's homeschooling lessons, but her thoughts kept drifting back to the SUV. Later that day, while inspecting the fence line at the edge of their property, she saw its same sleek black vehicle idling just down the road. Its dark windows reflected nothing but sky, the engine humming softly. When she locked eyes with the driver through the glass, the car pulled away slowly, disappearing around the bend. The next morning, Alana loaded crates of produce into her pickup for the Saturday farmers market. Isaiah, eager to help, asked if he could come along. Though the last trip had ended with cruel whispers and pointed stares, she agreed, knowing she couldn't shield him forever. Their stall at the market was modest, just like always, but it stood out among the larger operations. As Alana arranged bundles of herbs and rows of fresh tomatoes, she felt eyes on her. Lisa Carver, whose family owned the largest commercial farm in the county, sauntered over, her smile thin and sharp. "Alana, still working that little plot?" "Bless your heart. Business is good, Lisa," Alana replied, keeping her tone steady. "People like knowing where their food comes from." Lisa's eyes flicked toward Isaiah, who was arranging eggs at the display. "How's the boy? Heard you've been keeping him out of school." "Such a shame." "He's learning just fine," Alana said coolly. "Top of his class, actually." The conversation was cut short when Isaiah asked if he could get water from the fountain across the square. Alana watched him go, her gaze never leaving him as she helped a customer. But the unease returned when 3 older boys approached her son at the fountain. She couldn't hear their words, but their aggressive postures told her everything she needed to know. One of the boys shoved Isaiah, another knocked his cap off, and when he bent to pick it up, the third flung dirt into his face. Isaiah gasped, reaching for his inhaler. Alana was already sprinting toward him, shoving through the crowd. "Back off," she shouted, wrapping her arms around Isaiah as he wheezed. The boys scattered, but not before one of them spat out an ugly slur that made Alana's blood boil. As she steadied Isaiah's breathing, a shadow fell across them. Sheriff Clyde Monroe stood watching, his thumbs hooked in his belt loops. "Problem here, MS. Walker?" he asked, voice dripping with false concern. "Just some kids roughhousing," Alana replied through clenched teeth. "Funny how trouble seems to find certain folks," Monroe mused, his gaze lingering on Isaiah. "Maybe that boy of yours would be better off back in school, like normal kids." "We're fine, Sheriff," Alana snapped, shielding her son. The sheriff gave a smirk. "By the way, heard you had some trouble with your irrigation last month. Shame about faulty equipment." The threat was clear. That evening, surrounded by unpaid bills, legal notices, and lowball offers to buy her land, Alana felt the weight of the fight pressing down on her. Isaiah crept into the room, his eyes wide. "Mama, are we going to lose the farm?" Alana pulled him into her lap, holding him close. "This land is our bloodline, baby. No one is taking it from us." But deep down, she feared the words might be a lie. When another visit from the sheriff's deputies followed, bringing fabricated charges of livestock violations and illegal waste disposal, Alana realized this wasn't just intimidation. It was a campaign designed to break her. But then came the dog tag, the one that belonged to Jeremiah, her brother, delivered to her mailbox with no return address and a single word scrawled across the cloth that wrapped it: "Hold on." Jeremiah had been declared dead in action. His body never recovered, but the tag was real. And now she began to wonder if so was he. Late one night, as another threat loomed closer, Alana stood her ground. And in the flames of her burning barn, the brother she thought she'd lost returned, ready to help her expose a truth that went far beyond land ownership. A truth buried deep in the soil beneath their feet and in the history of their town. What followed would test the strength of family, community, and the power of justice itself. A single bullet hole pierced the rusted "No Trespassing" sign that stood defiantly at the border of Alana Walker's farm, a quiet warning she had chosen to ignore. For 3 relentless months, the threats had escalated. Veiled warnings from the local sheriff, unmarked black SUVs prowling near her property, and even ominous visits from Child Protective Services, suggesting her son, Isaiah, might be taken away. But Alana remained unmoved.